So we're back after the crash, and we are in the process of solving the clavicle and the sternum connection and bones of the body. So I want to get that imagery back up. By the way, crash parallels what we were just looking at when it happened, which is clavicle. And I feel led to mention that. Two plus ones, a single plus two in the word crash, just like clavicle and collarbone. So I actually do believe in the sovereignty of God. All these words parallel the word Father. Okay, so I love the sovereignty of God. I love preaching on things that happen that are unexpected, like a crash. I think it was this one we had open. It's all right. We know what we're doing. So clavicle and collarbone get married to sternum and breastbone. But I believe that clavicle parallels Father. And they differ by 9 exactly. So that is very suggestive. And then collarbone to Father will be, but the fact that you have the A-E as the only vowel, or the main vowels in Father in order, just like in collarbone, is very suggestive to me. So we are going to the appendicular spells, and we'll be right back. Okay. Just poking around here. Any other similarities we can draw here? The V is a +1. That must be, that's a 22. What's the difference? 9? From a C to an F. I'd say this is pretty awesome. The V, why don't you compare it to this? And that makes 6 points right there. This is amazing. Like, I'm seeing amazing correlation between the word clavicle and Father, because we know sternum is Christ and breastbone is Christ. We nailed that one because Christ was at the dead center of breastbone and backbone. So we know Christ is sternum and we know Christ is breastbone. Well, who is Christ in relationship with? Well, the Father, +1. Okay, and so now I'm studying this, and so you could also compare this to other famous +1s with Jesus, like the church. But I'm gonna go with Father because I see a lot of correlation here. So these gold guys differ by 6, and R differs from an L by 6, both dividing by 6. And I plus a C is 12, double 6. And L is 12, double 6. And F is 6. You know, you're just like, whoa. So, and then the 3 is the final bonus of the 3 fest on that. But if you write down those offsets with clavicle on top, so the clavicle has 3, then it was +6, and then it lost the 6, and then it had the 12, and then it lost the 6 in the fight, and then the A plus the E in both teams equals 6. Like A plus E equals 6. So I'm convinced at this point that the word clavicle, the long bone at the top of your torso, mathematically declares the Father person of the Trinity, who is in permanent eternal relationship with Christ, whom we clearly hit it out of the park with for sternum and breastbone. And this is confirmed. Now you know why God has 2 names for everything. Clavicle, the scientific medical name. Collarbone, the common name. Sternum, the scientific name. Breastbone, the common name. But look at the beauty of the parallelism in both of these. Very obvious. So and then now we can study collarbone versus Father. So this entire offset obviously builds the +9, which is very, -6, -6, that crosses with the 12, the 3 plus the 6 equals the overall +9. So, with the whole Trinity being glorified in this feast. Now, so we are in the house on, we wanted to get to, we are in the zone with the clavicle. This is, so actually, you know what, let's duplicate this. This is our root document, and we are diving in piece by piece, bone by bone. So I'm convinced, so I can't resist now just saying, okay, the clavicle, the Father is married to sternum, Christ. Clavicle plus sternum is going to add to what? 177. And then, which divides by 3, of course. And there's other bones that will link together. Clavicle plus sternum divides by 3. And then you can also try clavicle plus breastbone. That's 168. God is sovereign. And then the obvious one to do is collarbone plus breastbone. Wow, a double of 99. So collar plus breast, like very beautiful. 6 letters for collar, 6 letters for breast. Wow, like the one is 61 plus 1. Again, the father, collar, father, breast, you know, Christ. So 61, 65, get married. Like if you just wanted to add collar plus breast together, you get 126 divides by 6 divides by 9, very nice. And then bone in there, it still divides by 6, it's 6 times 33. I really like that. So that's awesome. And then so I believe collarbone and clavicle declare the person of the Father, and the sternum and the breastbone declare the person of the Son, the Christ. Let's dig in. And then there's scapulas. That's what I want to preach out for Jesus. So let's just quickly look at collarbone and Father. There's the A-E. Now you have an R. What's the difference? Oh, it's going to be plus 39. And then, ooh, this is obvious now. Oh my goodness, my Lord and my God. So we have perfect alignment now. Look at this. Oh my Lord and my God. The Father is the collarbone, and Christ is the sternum. Technically, the Father is supporting the sternum, but they're all just... The Father is above the sternum. The clavicle is above the collarbone is above the breastbone. Okay, let's keep going. Look at this. This is going to give you goosebumps. Look at all the 6's offsets here. A-R-E, A-R-E. And that's, so the letters that match. Let me mention all the 6's for the Trinity at large between collarbone and Father. A plus E, 6. And then R, triple 6. That's the 3 letters that are common to both words. Quadruple 6 between them. Now, look at this. There are 2 plus 2's left over in these words. And in order, they differ from each other's by multiples of 6. Now, you can do this in very cool ways, and I'm actually you could compare the B to the T to make 18, and the N to the H to make 6, or you could even be even cooler than that and do a little cross switch, okay, like God does all the time. In fact, the A, R, E are not even in order. They kind of swap around. R goes over here, E comes over there, cross link. So compare the B to an H. Okay, collarbone ends up higher than Father, so I'm going to put the positives on collarbone. So a B is 6 points less than an H, minus 6. But then an N is also 6 points less than a T, minus 6 again. But it's 6 bang on the nose. Now I'm going to leave. Now the 6 in Father, might as well just let that be a minus 6 all to itself. So minus is the Father team. So we've already got, this is just riveting. And just for the record, like I want to mention, you know, the plus 6 minus 6, just so it's all in writing, the plus 6 minus 6 of the AR and the plus 18 minus 18 of the ARE combo that we already solved at the beginning. So this is stunning. So we've bumped off the F now, and those guys, look at, like we've just, like this cluster is really near the end. Now look at the 6's that lingered. A pair of 12s in here in collarbone is just a pair of 12s, 12, 12. I'll take out the pluses just for brevity's sake. And then a C and O makes 18. And then you're left with the famous, the most famous letters for 3 individually, 3 and 15, like 3 and 3 times the third prime and 3 times the third prime. Like I could just write that out as like a glory fest all its own. COO, Trinity maximum between collarbone and Father. Those of course add to 33. You can get to 18 is another 6, another 15. Or you could just say it equals Amen. So of course the final offset of this whole massive slew of Trinity glorifying glory ended up being very simply was 39. The collarbone is 39 over the Father. A pretty awesome number to speak of 3. You know, it's the highest 3 in 30 land. So I am absolutely convinced from this point, at this current point, that the collarbone, also known as the clavicle of the human body, declares the name of the Father, the person of the Father in the Trinity. And so the Father, like I said, is in perfect relationship, unbroken relationship. Let's get a document here, if I could. There, this is the nice one that we actually had open for the crash parallels Father. God is sovereign over. I don't know why this image is not loading. Could be a little internet glitch, but that's all right. We'll wait. So, why did it not load the image? Okay, so this is what we're looking at. So there's the clavicle. Is married to the sternum, and that, what is that bone called the manubrium? Interesting. But the sternum it is. And then now it gets also married to the scapulas. And I would like to see if there's any other, duplicate this and then back it up. And then we'll solve the scapulas. Oh my. So the scapulas, your shoulder blades, screams out Jesus. It's 18 points higher than Jesus. So put Jesus on top of the scapulas. Note the obvious. We've seen this so many times. So many times. Beautiful. And then a C plus an A. This is so beautiful. A C plus an A equals the E. And then a U equals a U. Oh my Lord and my God, I worship thee. Jesus owns your scapulas. What are your scapulas? Well, they are your shoulder blades. That's so beautiful. Perfect. Just, you know, so this is a difference of 9. This is a difference of 3. Oh my goodness, like that is so beautiful. Like look at the offset. So scapulas, so you get -9 there, PS, -3, or no, then the S is on top. Everything else was equivalent, and then S equals an S, and then the L on the bottom was -9, and that's what makes your overall offset of -18 between Jesus and scapulas. But the letter by letter correlation was just plain riveting. As always. So there's your clavicle, which connects to your scapulas, the shoulder blades you can see in the back there, with a whole lot of tendons. And then it connects to the sternum, so clavicle is Father, single bone. Clavicle, Father, sternum, Christ, and then scapulas, Jesus. What else are we going to find here? Between the shoulder blade and the sternum or breastbone. Oh, there are 2 clavicles. Interesting. Interesting. Well, if you go the route of clavicles, then clavicles plural will now scream out Jesus. There are 2 clavicles, one on the left and one on the right. Oh, well, thank you for them. So clavicles. Oh my. So how does this compare? Oh my goodness. You got to be kidding me. So clavicles. I want to change these to plus. So scapulas was +18 over Jesus. And then clavicles is +12 over Jesus. Oh my goodness. In an obvious design again. So here's your 3 plus 1s again. Your single +2, which is an E. Well, I needed this clarification. But I thought that was profound that we found Father dramatically in clavicle and collarbone. There it is. So we're building an offset, a net offset of clavicles was +12 over Jesus. So, wow, you know what? If I was to shoot for 6s at the beginning, comparing Jesus to scapulas, you could also do this. An S equals an S, an S equals an S, and a J and a P differ by 6. And that would simplify this equation just like that. But I like what we saw there. But if I shoot for 6s here, because that's the common denominator between these, an S is an S from a V, but let's add a C to that comparison. So that gives us, the first +6 in favor of clavicles. And then a J, and then let's add this C to this A, so that a J differs from an AC by another +6, and our work is already done. The rest will be equal to each other. The E was the E, and now the U is just going to get comprised of an L and an I. E equals E, S equals S, and then this differed from, did I get that all? Or did I miss something? Li became a U, E was an E, S is an S, and then S to an AVC was our +6. Oh, S to a VC was our +6. J to a CA was our +6. Oh, I see. No, that was a -6, right. And then the L, the final L in clavicles, gives it that extra +12 boost, so that the net offset is exactly +12. So that's glaring. So Jesus owns your scapulas, which are the shoulder blades, and he owns your clavicles, which are the bones that support your shoulder blades. Whoa, that is huge revelation. Current date and time divides by 3 nicely. Well, there's your 12:06 p.m. divides by 3 on the 3rd day of the 9th month, 2016, Saturday Sabbath equals triple love. There you have it. Jesus, so we solved your scapulas for Jesus and your clavicles for Jesus. That's good. So that's what you're looking at. Your there's your clavicles, and then your scapulas are just behind them. And then we solve sternum for Christ. What else are we going to find in our body? This is impressive. Impressive ordinance by God's sovereignty. The clavicle is the only long bone in the body that lies horizontally. Together with the shoulder blade, it makes up the shoulder girdle. Well, the shoulder blades are the scapulas, makes up the shoulder girdle. I don't know that you need all that extra. It is a palpable bone. Palpable screams out Jesus. And in people who have less fat in this region, the location of the bone is clearly visible as it creates a bulge in the skin. It receives its name from Latin, little key, because the bone rotates along its axis like a key when the shoulder is abducted. Oh. Here's my clavicle. Where are we? Yeah, there it is. Hold on. Okay. So they called it a key. Little key. Well, key parallels Christ. Clavicula. There's a lovely 3-fest. Okay. So what's interesting then, if you were to compare collarbones to Jesus, the offset would then be a very happy 42, which is again a multiple of 6. Okay. Wow. Wow. Palpable and palpation. Both parallel Jesus. That's touching. That's what a doctor does. when he's touching the body in order to detect issues. Mind-blowing. Well, palpable, Jesus, -9. Palpation is flawless, both of these words. Jesus, +30. Palpable, palpation, Jesus. So that's Jesus at work. Palpation, Jesus. Kid's even wearing a love shirt. There you go. That was huge. Oh my goodness. Medical Wikipedia is mind-blowing. Like, oh boy. Oh, crash. Father.